Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of James Bond Bitcoin Live 0091. Hashtag faint. So, oh goodness. Let me go in the notes section here real quick. Let's see what's down here. In the notes section, you're probably going to find pretty much the same thing that I've been putting up from last time. Um, Let me see. Bitcoin silver. Make Bitcoin decentralized again. The whole point of me putting these up is so you can keep track of them and to see if they actually come out, and we'll do a hard fork. Now, supposedly, a lot of these are supposed to come out November and December. We'll see what happens. Uh, I have a suspicion that it may not, just because of what Bitcoin Gold is going through right now. Bitcoin Gold is still not available, as far as I know. I'll go over that just a little bit later when I do the coin market cap. So Bitcoin Gold still not available for splitting. They barely got their testnet going. They haven't even got their mainnet. So I would expect maybe another week for Bitcoin Gold. It's all coming very close to this SegWit 2x hard fork, but we'll see what happens. And then below that, it's time to stop meme. I love that meme. That meme is just hilarious. And Bitcoin Platinum, the true decentralized Bitcoin, fair proof of work, multi-algorithm. This one's a dud, in my opinion. I keep saying that. I'll just keep on saying that. If you had your hopes up for Bitcoin Platinum, well, I'm not going to say it's impossible, but it's probably most likely very unlikely to happen. And then what else do we have here? Bitcoin Uranium. This is supposed to come out on December 31st. We won't know until it actually happens. And the reason why I have all of these up there is to show you, the audience members, that when you go onto the Bitcoin talk forum and you go into the altcoin section and you see the massive amounts of just garbage that's being posted up there, you'll realize that's where all of these scams propagate for the most part. And they propagate for the sole purpose of taking your Bitcoin, because your Bitcoins are now worth $7,000 plus the Bitcoin Gold that's worth about $130, plus the Bitcoin Cash, which is now almost about $600 to $500. I think it almost reached $700. Plus the SegWit 2x that's coming up, that's worth almost $2,000. Plus all the other future forks of Bitcoin that's going to be happening. And I'm going to tell you that I think there's a really good chance in the future that Bitcoin will be a proof of stake coin. It'll be forked off. There won't be any miners. Okay. So hear me out. Bitcoin's going to fork and become a proof of stake. It's going to be a fork of Bitcoin, people. So if you hold Bitcoin, you're going to hold a staking coin eventually, because staking coins seem to be a rage these days. And with staking coins, you don't need miners, right? It's just a bunch of nodes. And so we can give that implementation a try. Why not? And then you can also increase the supply as well to infinite. Why not? It's an implementation. We'll see if it survives. Uh, I'll get into that a little bit later. Um, let's continue in the notes section. List of airdrops. Last update, October 29th, 2017. I haven't been there, but it's for you guys because I know some of you love getting free money dropping from the air. And then I have a link to SegWit Charts. Gives you an idea of SegWit adoption or transactions being used by SegWit addresses. And then I have the video for today. All right, a video for today. It is related to Wendy Williams here. Wendy Williams faints on live TV. So I also made a meme about that. And then, of course, hashtag yes2x number 59, which is this meme right here, what you're looking at. Also, I have the pot of gold, the Bitcoin pot of gold. I have a link to that meme as well as the address for donations. So please donate. It's definitely above $30. The price has gone up quite a bit. I still need a donation to go in there to give you the third clue to the third word of the 24-word recovery seed. And then I have a link to Hiroja Shibe Space Odyssey Network. Please go to her channel, subscribe to her, watch her videos. I think she made a video today. You know, Lambos, unicorns, rainbows. You know, what else do you want in a video? I also have a link to Skive. Check out his channel and check out his videos, and please subscribe to him. I think he made a video today. He made a video about BitConnect. I'll get into that a little bit later. Seems like all of a sudden BitConnect lost $1 billion. I think they overcalculated, or maybe they don't know how to use a spreadsheet because they don't really have a blockchain. You know that, right? I mean, they don't have a blockchain. So they just accidentally moved the decimal point over to the, well, they had an extra decimal point. They had an extra 0 because they kept pushing 0, 0, 0, and they pushed too many zeros. And so they had to take a 0 away or 3 zeros away. I'm not sure. I'll get into that a little bit later. And I have a link to Yes for Motivation. Please subscribe to him as well. Check out his channels and watch his videos. So let's have a look who's in the who's in the chat. Oh, I see Mr. Ball. How you doing, Mr. Ball? Haven't seen you in a while. I wonder what brings you around. You seem to come back and forth, I guess, whenever you please. Surgeon C. Sir Regency. I'm sorry if I don't say your name right. How you doing? Good to see you. Flapping Plemis. Hello. Good to see you as well. And Dual Overhead Camness. Good to see you. Welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Let's go to the meme right now, shall we? Yes, why not? So the meme here is SegWit 2x will happen. Hashtag yes2x. You know, I have a feeling that there's a lot of people who are literally fainting over the fact that SegWit 2x hard fork will happen. And we're right around the corner. And, you know, their disbelief or denial is too much that they're literally fainting. They don't even know what to think, what to say, or what to do. The only thing they can do is just wait. So unless these, you know, small blockers, I call them small blockers, but unless you have money or you have mining power. How you doing, DD8209? Good to see you. So unless you have money and or a lot of hashing power or money to buy miners to get a lot of hashing power, there's really not much you can do to prevent this hard fork that's coming. Doesn't matter how many people pull out of the New York agreement. the people who are staying in, they're going to hard fork. All right, they've already decided to do that. Unless something dramatic happens, unless a very large player with a lot of hashing power or a lot of money decides to pull out, what you're gonna see happen is basically SegWit 2x will happen, and there's a lot of people who are just in disbelief, and with just slightly under 2 weeks, I don't think. Well, I'm pretty sure they're in disbelief. I'm very sure they're in disbelief. Anyways, whether it happens or not doesn't matter to me as an end user. I put my support for SegWit. We have SegWit right now. Supposedly, this is going to open up so many other things: Lightning networks, side chains, more fungibility, more privacy. Well, let's hope that happens, because a lot of other chains are going to come on. And so let me talk a little bit about hard forking here. You know, I do think there will be a, believe it or not, a Bitcoin proof of stake coin. It's going to hard fork. You won't need any miners whatsoever. You'll just have to spin up a wallet, a full node wallet for your staking Bitcoin coins. And it'll be airdropped. And all you have to do is download the wallet, download the full blockchain, and be a part of the network, and you'll start staking coins. And so there will be a Bitcoin stake coin. It'll be BSS. Okay, Bitcoin stake coins. Or BSC, I don't know, or BS coin. So people will probably call it BS coin. Anyways, Hiroja Shibe, Space Odyssey Network. Welcome. How you doing? A big bag of caramel. Wow. I wonder if you're. Is that leftover from Halloween? Because I'm actually eating all my Halloween. I'm eating my kids' Halloween candy, as well as the candy that I bought that I wasn't able to give out. So I'm enjoying a lot of chocolate. Anyways, let's move on here. Let's see what we have here. Okay, yes. Bitcoin, pot of gold, please donate. I'll try to get into how you can extract the private keys, or how you can extract the Bitcoins if you do find out the private keys, and how you can, you know, decode it. Maybe you know, just in case you don't know, I'll go over that as well. All right, so here's what I want to talk about. BitConnect. My goodness, how can I not talk about BitConnect? So BitConnect, I don't know if you know this, dropped from 7th place to 15th place on the CoinMarketCap. It's now, I think, at 16th place. Apparently, they either made a, you know, inventory miscalculation, or maybe they took inventory of how many Bitcoins they have to how many coins they have, and realize they're short. They're way short. Now, they're either short on BitConnect tokens, or they're short on Bitcoin. Now, we all know BitConnect tokens are absolutely worthless. So they probably made a calculation of how many BitConnect tokens they have, because they've been hacked, obviously. And plus, people are taking more Bitcoins out than they're putting in. And so they've dropped on the total market cap. And so if you are interested in BitConnect, please sign up under my username, too retarded. And make sure you put a large loan in there. Anyways, let's go to the coin market cap, and I'll show you what I'm talking about here real quick. And I'll also do the mempool. I'll also do a chart analysis. I'll do all that stuff as well. So if you look down here, they were right about here. I mean, they were number 7 yesterday. I mean, we just talked about it. Well, for some reason now they're down number 16, BitConnect. And all of a sudden they lost $1 billion. Let's actually click on it real quick. Hello, FUD Machine. You know, FUD Machine, I'm gonna, I didn't let you know about this yesterday, but my other videos have hidden encrypted private keys in the pictures of the meme. If you know how to use stenography, that's how I use it. Or sometimes the encrypted private key is actually in the meme itself. And I think I have, like, I don't know, a lot. I still have a lot of Bitcoin treasure just out there. Brian has not gotten to them. My first series of treasure hunts, they were basically private keys that I put into a stenography, hid them inside the pictures. Brian got them all already. So after you get them all, I make it a little bit harder. The next batch of treasure hunts, no one has actually been able to get to them yet. So what I do is I just keep making them until somebody's able to figure it out. And then obviously I keep track of it on the blockchain. As people sweep them, I'll notice that. But so far, no one has. I have not recently, since I would say Bitcoin Gold hard forked, because I'm not moving my coins around as much. Probably won't do any in November because of all the hard forks that are happening. And so, but all the ones I did pass and previously, they're available. They're still out there. You should check them out. So let's have a look here. If you go into the chart, I'll just take a quick look at the chart, and you can see right about, I think it was just yesterday. I mean, literally yesterday. It had, let me see if I can get closer. It's going to be hard to move. Okay, it almost had $2 billion in market cap. I mean, it was literally in 7th place. $2 billion in market cap. And then all of a sudden, today, it's only half. It's half of that, literally, or more than half. It's like 578 million before it was almost 2 billion. So I don't know what happened. Two things either happened. Either their coin supply, their circulating supply got reduced, or what I think really happened is, if you look here, right here, so if you look right there, it says 80,000 Bitcoin. I think this is what really happened on BitConnect. Of course, you could go ahead and put a comment, or if you're in the chat right now, let me know what you think. I think they did an inventory of how many Bitcoins they have, right? Because they're getting Bitcoins in on their platform. So they're doing an inventory, and they're realizing, or they just realized, because these people aren't that smart as you might think, all right? If their website got hacked, they're not very technical people, or the people they have aren't that great. And so they probably did an inventory of how many Bitcoins they have and realized they're about a little bit more than $1 billion short on their Bitcoin. Now, if they're a Ponzi, of course they would be short on their Bitcoin, or if they're a pyramid, they would be short. But I think they realize that they don't have enough Bitcoin to justify the $1 billion market cap. They just don't. So they had to quickly adjust that. And this is why I don't even think they have a blockchain. All right. Literally, I think it's just, they're just running nodes. There's no mining going on. They're just spitting out, BitConnect tokens for the most part. So not only can they spit out BitConnect tokens, apparently they can also swallow BitConnect tokens. So all of a sudden, a couple $2 billion gone. Go figure. How do you figure that? I don't know. But the price of BitConnect tokens stayed the same. Just the total and market coin supply must have reduced. And I think because they did an inventory of how many Bitcoins they have and found out they have way, way less Bitcoins than they thought they had. So I think they have a security problem, or someone's embezzling a lot of money, or maybe the conferences they have, whatever they had a recent conference, maybe it costs more money than they thought. Who knows? Anyways, let me go on to what's next here. Okay, so this is Coinbin. If you never used Coinbin, you should check it out. It's coinb.in. I'm going to generate a new SegWit address, and I'll show you how to use a sender. So here's the private key. This is a normal private key. Matter of fact, if I verify it, I'm going to verify the private key. It's just going to give me a regular address. You see that? And so this SegWit address is basically a pay-to-script address. Normally, on a SegWit address, you need this redeem script, but my treasure hunts don't offer a redeem script. They just have the private key only. And so what you need to do is you need to use a sender, a Bitcoin sender, or a SegWit sender, and I'll show you what that is here shortly. Let me use Coinables. This is the one I was talking about, coinables.github.io/SegWit. It's something that Kyle Honeycutt has made. And this top portion is a wallet generator, but this part down here, this is how you sweep the private keys. You simply just put in your private key of the SegWit address, and what the sender does is it generates the redeem script that you would see right here, this redeem script, and then it does all that in the background, and you just have to put in your address, which I'll just, let's see here. I'll use this address here. Just put in this address, whatever. There's nothing in there, of course. And then you would just put transfer all funds. This is how you sweep the SegWit wallets. You push yes. And then there's nothing in there, so there's not going to be any information to do that. But from the private key right here that you input, it automatically figures out what the redeem script is. It does this all in the background. So if you're wondering how to sweep it, this is how you sweep the SegWit wallets, just to let you know. All right, just to let you know. I don't have any news in here. Most of what I'm going to do is just rant for the most part. And so I will get into the Bitcoin fees here. Coin fees, there we go. So here's the Bitcoin fees, and again, the mempool is very, very full. I would be very, very careful about what you put into your fees. Don't put it too low or they're going to get stuck. So the range is, let's see what it says here. It's gone up actually, 310 Satoshis per byte on a 226 byte transaction. That's about 70,000 Satoshis. Now this transaction is basically a one input, two output scenario. So if you have more inputs or more outputs, obviously it's going to be more bytes. So, but if you did a simple transaction, one input, two output, 310 Satoshis, which is right here, this green line, that may be a little too high. I think it's more of a range between 200 Satoshis per byte and 310 Satoshis. Obviously, the most it's getting done is right here at 250 Satoshis. And I think you'll still get your transactions into the next block. As you see here, a lot of transactions in the mempool at 1 to 10 Satoshis per byte. And there's a lot just being stuck in there. And of course, there's still a lot of transactions in the last 24 hours. But I think they'll take a very, very, very long time to get done. It's gotten a little, slightly little better. It used to say infinite. So that's not too bad. So let's go on to the mempool real quick. So what do you all think about the SegWit 2x? Are you happy you're going to get your free coins? I'll get into the futures market. I think they're worth about $2,000. So if you're wondering why another reason why I think the price of Bitcoin's gone up is because a lot of people do want SegWit 2x coins. And so if you take the futures price of SegWit 2x and you subtract it from the current Bitcoin price, Bitcoin is right now, well, it's worth $5,000. And then if you add the SegWit 2x coin, it's another 2,000, so 5, 6, 7. So you're up to $7,000. And I think that's why the price of Bitcoin right now is at $7,000. Because if you take those two prices, the futures of SegWit 2x minus the current price, which would be 5,000. So you add 5 plus 2, it's about 7,000. Makes sense. If you want to really know what the price of Bitcoin is, wow, this thing is taking a long time. What is up? Okay, there we go. So if you want to know what the real price of Bitcoin is, it's 7,000 plus the Bitcoin Gold, which is another $100, plus the Bitcoin Cash, which is about 6, 7, 8. So it should be $7,800 right now, almost $8,000. And so if you take your private key and if you haven't moved or split anything, your one private key is worth almost $8,000. Think about that. So, all right, so what do we have here? We have, oh my goodness, 50,000 transactions in the mempool. Here's my thing. I think that you're going to see the mempool get flooded all the way up to the fork. Okay, and I think it's going to be done that way intentionally on purpose, so that when it does split, the hashing power splits off, the miners migrate to whatever chain they want to start mining. Their whole plan is to debilitate the network. debilitate the transactions. So when they do split, one of the blockchains is going to take forever to process through that. It's going to slow it down to a halt. Now, I trade peer-to-peer. So the problem with that is if I can't transact, right, that's a big problem. If I can't trade peer-to-peer, that's an issue. And so it's going to force me to go on to another chain. It's going to make me either go to Bitcoin Cash, since I have Bitcoin Cash. If Bitcoin Gold is available at that time, I might have to transact with Bitcoin Gold because I have Bitcoin Gold. And if SegWit 2x has enough hashing power, which supposedly it might, since this is a hard fork induced by miners, right? It's not induced by users, it's induced by miners. And so if the plan is, if most of the mining power of the hashing power agrees to the New York agreement, agrees to SegWit 2x, you have to make the assumption that the SegWit 2x coin, their blockchain, will be processing transactions faster than the current blockchain or the legacy chain that's, you know, being left behind or being abandoned by the miners. You have to take that into consideration. And the way the market or the business facilitators are playing it is they're playing it in a way that they're saying, let the market decide. But the fact is, what's going to happen is one chain is going to, you know, have a heart attack, and the other chain is going to, I don't know, I wouldn't say have a heart attack either, but they'll be able to process transactions faster than the other chain. And so with that unfair advantage, most people will probably start using other coins, either Bitcoin Gold that they have, Bitcoin Cash that they have, and also the SegWit 2x coins that they will get. Because, you know, the people who accept Bitcoin, well, if you can't transact on Bitcoin, the next best thing to do is to go onto these other forks or these other chains of Bitcoin and start accepting those. Because if you're a business, whether you're in the illicit market or in the legal market, whatever you are, you just can't stop, right? You can't just stop everything. You just can't do that. Or you're going to have to start accepting other coins, other altcoins that are infected by this. So it's a little unfair for Coinbase and the exchanges, BitPay, to say, we'll let the market decide, because it's tilted heavily to the chain that has the most hashing power, or that will get the most hashing power. Because if they both split off now, with this many transactions in the mempool, I'm pretty sure one of the chains will basically stop, or it'll be a very long time before you could process transactions. Especially as you get closer and closer to the hard fork, you're going to see more and more transactions in the mempool. And I think that's done on purpose, because it's literally designed to throw a wrench into the whole system. You're literally just throwing a wrench into the system, and the one that can grind through will probably prevail, or the chances of prevailing dramatically increases. So you're probably wondering, well, what can you do to counter that? And here's why I also think the price is also going to go up. Hello, Neo Geo. This is why I think the price is going to go up. I think the price is going to go up on, well, this is what the investors or the users can do. If you can drive the price up of the chain that you want the miners to mine on. So in order to counter the coup d'etat from the miners, you may have to, on the exchanges or however you want to do it, I'm not going to be on the exchange. I'm going to tell you that right now. But I know there's a lot of people, investors, who will be on the exchanges. The best thing that they can do is dump one coin for the other and put the money into the blockchain that you want the miners to mine. So the way to counter the miner revolt, in my opinion, it's a miner revolt, is to put the money onto the chain that you want them to mine. And hopefully they'll come to their senses and they will mine the chain that is the most profitable. And so if you're a big supporter of the legacy chain, you're going to have to pump that price really hard to keep the miners mining on that chain, or at least until the difficulty readjust. But if you keep them there, it won't readjust. It'll just stay high. It may adjust a little bit because I do think miners are going to migrate between Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin, and SegWit 2x. They are going to migrate, but they're probably going to migrate eventually to the chain that has the most value. That's about the only thing you can do as a user or as an investor in this. Other than that, if you do mine, stay on the chain that you want to survive. That's probably the only thing you can do. Oh, howdy, Brian. Good to see you. So that's my take on what's going on and why you see the mempool going up so high, and you'll probably see it continue to be a lot of transactions in the mempool, because the whole point is to clog up the network, and basically you're throwing a wrench in the whole system. So, and let's take a look at the futures of both Bitcoin Gold and SegWit 2x coins, because that'll give you an idea of, you know, how valuable that network is. Well, you know, FUD machine, even if you let the difficulty fall, and you're still having an issue with, I guess you call it 51% attack or a mining attack. All that's going to happen is the miners can easily jump back on this chain, increase the difficulty for about 2 weeks, spam the network, and then jump back off. And eventually it'll just become very difficult. And the whole point is attrition. You're trying to garner as much users as possible. So if you make that chain difficult to work with, eventually users will migrate to the chain that's going to get the transactions done. But it is a cat and mouse game. It is a chicken and egg thing. And there's a lot of game theory behind this, but there's really no way of knowing, because right now, until it actually happens, all possibilities, all things are equal and happening. They're all very possible. All scenarios are there until it actually happens. Let me see here. I also noticed the market cap here has gone down. I think the peak was at 200 billion in market cap. I think a lot of it has to do with Bitcoin coming down off its highs. But considering how high it is, I'm a little surprised to see it down below 200 billion, because the altcoins have gone up. They've taken a little dead cat bounce, and Bitcoin dominance is at 61.4%. I do think that's going to start trending. It's going to trend up higher and higher as we get closer to SegWit 2x, because a lot of people are going to start pouring in their money into the whole system. Yeah, DD 8209, the difficulty is estimated to drop 4%. That's it? Only 4%? That's not enough, That's not enough. So, Scrodinger, I don't know how to say that. Schrodinger's blockchain, yes. Pretty much all possibilities are just as equal of happening until it actually happens. And then we'll get the final results. The reality is, everything that happens in life is because, believe it or not, we choose these things as a whole, as a community. If you think about BitConnect, why does BitConnect exist? It exists because the community allows it. It's really that simple. So let's see, BTG. See what Bitcoin Gold futures are. So this is Bitcoin Gold futures. It's still pretty flat. Nothing's happening. They barely have a test net up, or I don't even know if they even have a test net up. Supposedly they do. But their main net is not even up. That's why I haven't been able to split my Bitcoin Gold, or experiment splitting my Bitcoin Gold. It's not even on Coinami yet. And so I think there's a lot of wallets, a lot of exchanges waiting for Bitcoin Gold to go live. So Bitcoin Gold is still not live, people. It's it's November 3rd, coming on to November 4th, and still not live. So that's the price of Bitcoin Gold. Let's see what the SegWit 2x futures are saying. So I was a little surprised about this, but considering that we're very close to a hard fork, this doesn't surprise me. You're seeing a huge jump in the price. It was about $1,000 when I checked last time. And so it's gone up another $945, almost $2,000. So this price action in the futures tells me, if I look at the price as an indicator, it literally is telling me that SegWit 2x will happen. There's an anticipation by market participants, and maybe some investors, and who knows, other people that have money who want to see SegWit 2x happen, putting money into this. The markets is, let's have a look at the markets. It's on HIT BTC. That's where most of the volume is. And if you don't know, HIT BTC is a supporter of bigger blocks, as far as I can tell. That company itself and its investors and I believe the participants are supporters of SegWit 2x. They've been supporting larger blocks, as far as I know. So it makes sense for them to support and have a futures contract. And the people on HIT BTC are probably a supporter of B2X. So you're seeing them really pump it up. FUD machine, if you're talking about Bitcoin Gold, It's not available on Koinami yet. I've been checking it. Their customer support said that they would support it, and it was similar to like Bitcoin Cash. The way you split your coins, you had to have coins on the wallet, or if you don't, then you would have to just wait, and then supposedly you would be able to sweep your coins into the wallet by scanning the private key into it, or inputting the private key, or sweeping your private keys, the Bitcoin Gold private keys. So I checked today, and they're not on there just yet. So there's that. So, and then finally, I'll get to chart analysis. So let's go into Bitcoin Wisdom here. All right, so this is the weekly. Let me just go ahead and just make this line appear. All right, and so on the weekly, if you look at that, I mean, it's obviously pierced above that trend line, and because it's pierced above that trend line, and we still have Saturday and Sunday, but if it could still keep a green candlestick, it should go higher. Okay, I have peace, love, and crypto. Bitcoin Gold is on Koinami if you have beta. I have a video on my channel. All right, excellent. I'll try to put a link to your channel and a link to the video if you made that video. And Bitcoin Gold is on Koinami if you have beta, and it seems like you've made a video on it. Very good. I'll put that in there. Yeah, that's a good question. How Brian's asking, how do you get Koinami beta, considering that if you have to download the recent version in order for them to be able to add the Bitcoin Gold token. Anyways, I'll check out your channel, Peace, Love, and Crypto, and I'll put a link into it. Anyway, so I got here the trend line, and it looks like it's starting to go back up. Let me go down and work my way to the hourly. And the hourly looks really good. The fact that it really hasn't come down below the trend line here. It hasn't touched it yet. It's just bouncing around. As long as it stays above, in my opinion, I think as long as it stays above this trend line, it should probably continue to go up. And I think it will, because we're still like almost 2 weeks away from the actual hard fork. A lot of transactions in the mempool. It's driving up demand. I mean, people are sending very high $2 to $3 to $5 fees on just one input, two output transactions. People are moving their coins around, positioning themselves, and you should position yourself now to get ready for the split or for the hard fork. Don't wait last minute, because your transaction may not go through. And so let's pull back just a little bit, just to get a better idea on the 12-hour. And yeah, the 12-hour looks awesome. All right, the 12-hour looks awesome because you can see the simple moving average, the shorter term simple moving average right here. this one right here. It's weighted, but it's a simple weighted moving average. It's a shorter term. I think it's just a 10 period. You can see that it is just going up. It's pushing up higher. So, 10,000 Bitcoin by the time of SegWit 2x hard fork, it's in play. I mean, the price moves like $1,000 in a week. If we have about 2 weeks until the hard fork, I could definitely see an extra $1,000 a week as we get closer and closer. Yes, that's right, Hiroja Shibe. I said $10,000 before the hard fork. Think about it. If you add the current price, really, the current price is the price of SegWit 2x and Bitcoin right now. So SegWit 2x being $2,000 and Bitcoin probably worth 5,000, somewhere around there. You're getting about the total price of it right now. And I think as you get closer, a lot of the SegWit 2x backers are going to pump that price up on the futures, on the 2x futures. And they want it to be the equal price, at least the equal price of Bitcoin, which I think it's 5,000. So they want it to be 5,000 and 5,000. That's almost pretty close to 10,000. Will it get to 10,000? I think it'll get pretty close to 10,000. You got to remember, prices move fast. It wasn't, I mean, literally, it was only a couple weeks that we were like in the $5,000 to $6,000. Now we're at the high of 7,500 exact on the price. So moving an extra 2,500 from the all-time high, that's reasonable. I mean, the price has moved that fast. So let me go to a daily here and just have a look at the daily. Yeah, daily looks good. It's not stopping per day as long as it makes green candles and it doesn't go beneath that trend line. And the simple moving average is also moving up very sharply. Even if it does pull back, it could bounce off of that trend line. And at the level where the RSI is, if you look at the RSI, even if it did come down and go back up, it doesn't have to go up that much for the price to go up. The RSI can just move just a little bit up, but the price can just move dramatically up. And then let's take a look at the 3-day. So on the 3-day, it's made another candlestick, and it's made a candlestick from the top of this trend line and pushing up higher. And if you look at the candlestick, it has a wick on top. I don't know when the last, let me see here, when the last 3-day session is. Let me see, 3-day, the date is the 29th. So 9, 30, 31, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Okay, so Sunday will be the 3rd day. So Sunday we should have another candlestick. I think Monday should be the new candlestick. Let me see what day this is. This is the 3rd, so the 1st, 2nd, 3rd. So today's the 3rd. So tomorrow should be a new candlestick, and so we'll see. But just looking at that candlestick up there, it's a green candlestick. It also has a wick on the top. It's indication for me that the price is going up. When I see wicks on top of the candlestick and when they're green, it's a bullish. It's very bullish for me anyway. And the last one is on the weekly. Let's have a look. Yeah, a couple more days. If it finished like with that candlestick, with a wick, a larger wick on top of the candlestick, that's usually indication that it's pointing a direction, being up. So, wow, the price looks really, really good. Really good. I hope everyone's positioned where they want to be playing on the exchanges with the hard fork. If you don't, go on the exchanges to have your coins split. I would recommend just sitting tight, because there is no replay protection, or there is no plan to have a replay protection, but it doesn't mean that they won't implement a replay protection before the hard fork. Now, if they do put a replay protection before the hard fork, you'll definitely see the price go up higher. You'll definitely see it. I think a lot of people like replay protection. That way they don't lose their coins, or possibility of losing their coins. They get to keep all their coins. And so far, every hard fork or every split that had or implemented replay protection has increased the price of Bitcoin so far. So anyways, I hope this helped you. And let me see here. If anybody has any questions for me, or anything anything else they want me to talk about, please chime in the chat. Let me go back to the original meme here. Let me see here. Okay. Let's go to the coin market cap here. I'll just leave it on that. There we go. The meme. So I think there's a lot of big blockers. I think there's a lot of people who are against SegWit 2x. They may be in disbelief, because as far as I can tell, it's, you know, when SegWit came about, it was like everyone was happy, everyone was excited. I was excited as well. But they also started talking about how SegWit 2x wasn't not going to happen. And I can't imagine, after the determination of some people in the Bitcoin space, miners and some of the businesses that signed the New York agreement, and their, I wouldn't say hatred, but their dislike for the current development team, and they openly stated that they don't want the Bitcoin core developers developing on Bitcoin anymore. I can't imagine they're just going to not try to implement this hard fork, you know. And as I was watching a lot of YouTube and I was reading a lot on the internet, and the sentiment seemed to be, when SegWit was implemented, that people would abandon the New York agreement, which some people have. But the people who have abandoned the New York agreement, they can't prevent the hard fork. All right. The people who can prevent the hard fork are still in the New York agreement, and they're very determined to replace the development team. And they have the hashing power, they have the money, and they have the the businesses that allows users to use Bitcoin, especially new users. So this is a very dangerous time for the legacy chain. It really, really is. Well, you know, Brian, the legacy, the New York agreement was not binding. Of course not. That's why you had people leave the agreement or abandon the agreement. But the people who have left that agreement or abandoned that agreement can't prevent the hard fork from happening. The people who can prevent the hard fork from happening are still in agreement with the New York agreement, or the New York Accord, or the Berry-Silbert Accord, whatever you want to call it. What I'm trying to say is the people that have the power to stop the hard fork, well, they're not stopping it. All right. You need, if I learned anything from the hard forks that I've seen from Bitcoin Cash, and then from Bitcoin Gold, and to some degree some of the other hard forks that have happened on other chains, it takes hashing power to do that. And so the people who can prevent this hard fork from happening, well, they're the ones that are instigating this hard fork. So it's hard to say that this is not going to happen. It seems like it's imminent. Yes, Brian, that's exactly what I'm saying. It's the people who has abandoned the New York agreement. I mean, they're like not that many miners, or if any miners have really left the New York agreement. Not to the point where it's like over. If 50% of the miners in the New York agreement abandon in New York, you know, the agreement, then, you know, there could be a chance that SegWit 2x would never happen. But the fact that there's at least 70% of the hashing power is pretty quiet about it. They haven't said they're not going to do this. And the fact that they've already openly, you know, stated that they do not want the Bitcoin core development team developing on Bitcoin anymore, you know, what else can I say? You just have to take it at face value. You know, there's no way to game theory that, other than the fact that they're pretty serious. They have the money, they have the hashing power to do this, and they're going to hard fork. And so I think a lot of these, you know, people who are not for SegWit 2x, you got to come to terms and come to reality. Making memes, unfortunately, trolling people, unfortunately, does not change the fact that a lot of users don't have any hashing power to make a difference in this particular case. All right. Now, the only thing that the users do have is they have a lot of Bitcoins. They may have some money. All right. You may have some economic power. The only thing you can do right now is, when the time comes, you got to dump the coins that you don't want, transfer that value to the coins that you do want, or you got to put more economic power into the blockchain that you want the miners to mine on. That's about the only thing this community can do if you're not a miner, if you don't have any hashing power. And that's it. And that's why I think the price can go up to 10,000 easily. And so if the futures of SegWit, I would really watch the future price of the SegWit 2x futures. If it continues to go up, consider that a part of the price of what Bitcoin is. So Bitcoin's at 7,000, SegWit 2x futures is at 2,000. if it's split, you would have to assume that Bitcoin, this legacy chain, is going to be worth 5,000 after the hard fork, and SegWit's going to be worth, SegWit 2x is going to be worth 2,000 for the combined price of 7,000. So, right now it seems like the legacy chain seems to have an advantage because 5,000 versus 2,000, the miners will eventually come to their senses and mine on the most profitable chain. Okay. But we have like a Mexican standoff with Bitcoin Cash, SegWit 2x, and then Bitcoin. It almost seems a little unfair because Bitcoin Cash and SegWit 2x are almost one and the same of the people who are supporting it. So it's unfortunately you're looking at a two versus one scenario. Yes, DD 8209. Money is the only thing both sides understand. So anyways, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you for everyone in the chat. DD 8209, Brian, Hiroja, as well as Peace, Love, and Crypto. I will check out your channel and see if you have a video of Coinami. If you do, I will put it in there. If you don't, then I'm gonna have to doubt everything you say from now on. And I don't know what happened to Mr. Ball, but he's long gone. He's not here. And thank you for the machine for coming back in Flapping Plymouth, or Flapping Plymouth. Sorry about that. And Surgeon C. Anyways, feel free to like, dislike, leave a comment, or even do a video response. Until next time, everyone, stay tuned. Bye now.